is attempt number 2. Attempt number 1 was successful, but I started kind of spacing out for the second half of the mission, and I'd be frankly embarrassed to show it to anybody, so attempt number 2. So the new thing on this map is Emergent. Emergent is a nastier particle that only moves on the 90 degrees, so straight on the x-axis, straight on the y-axis, but moves with more direction and is a lot tougher and does a lot more damage. It can punch through armor or an Omni or something and keep moving, and it can also hit Omnis on the ground. Emergent spawns from enemy mired land, and you'll notice there's all this land over there for it to mire, so you counter it by, well, shooting it out of the air and by unmiring land. So we're going to make a lot of use of this particle spawner here. These things that look like Creeper World turrets are in fact turrets, and they're going to shoot at me, although their range isn't enormous. So I'm going to take these 4 nodes here, which are fairly well protected. I'm going to Omni up all this land, I'm going to build up my forces, and then once I've got them, I'm going to hit this node and this node before proceeding to the center. Both of those nodes have an emitter really nearby. They're going to have to wait until I've got some military. Once I've taken those, I'm going to go straight in through the front door. I could go over the tops of these walls here and here where the defense isn't going to be quite as tough, but there's no energy there. So I'm going to kind of have to go in through the front door because of the energy coverage. Snag this node and snag a couple of scrap immediately. I'm going to drop an amp gem in the command vessel. Just right off the bat. One thing I need to get better about doing is dropping an amp gem in the first couple of things I construct, because you can always pull them out later, and you can really use that bonus early on in the game. Drop a couple of Omnis so I can mire up all the land. Drop a lathe so that I can continue to grab these scraps. I'm actually going to leave the command vessel down here and snag up all the scraps, so I've got it. Good, I've got the missile ship. I'm going to need defenses up very quickly because those particles are going to start coming in very quickly, and soon I'm going to have the Emergent to deal with. So let's get a couple cruisers right now. I'm skipping straight past the destroyer this time. So I've just been warned that the Emergent is on its way. It's these orange dots you can see, leaving little tails behind. Still got a fair amount of cash. I should be dropping a couple more Omnis. As I mentioned, Emergent can also destroy Omnis on the ground, so that's going to be a problem. I'm going to have to defend them a little bit better. Mount those amp gems. Now, one advantage to taking all these locations over here on the left and this one up at the top is they've got a lot of land to cover them, so I've got a few bottlenecks that I can put my ships into. Don't have to defend quite as much space. Okay, cruisers are done, so let's get them up to that bottleneck. Let's get that wolf so I can have a better weapon against the Emergent, something that can destroy it while it's still at range and can't hurt me as badly. Move the command vessel over to take the scrap. I'll hold off on building anything new just yet, so I'm not building too many things at once and not spending too much of my stash. Although it looks like however I cut this, I'm going to be spending stash. Got a couple more that I need to be grabbing. That lathe has just been sitting there doing nothing. I could really use that grabber. There we go, the wolf is done. Let's put our last amp gem in him for now. And the first order of business is going to be to destroy this energy node here. If I can destroy that energy node, I can choke point most of the stuff coming out of the center. I can use a lot less ships to defend, and I can go take that one on the right. It looks like I'm starting to build up my store, which is good. That means discharger. I'm going to need that micro tank. Right now I'm just using the grabber to suppress them a little bit. Later on I'll be using that grabber to countermire the land. Here come the stun. As you can see, stunners can hit mines, energy mines, which is both cool and painful. Fortunately, I don't have a whole lot of ships affected. I've just got that lathe affected because the command vessel has generators. Keep building up the military. Almost ready to go. In fact, let's fall this lathe back. And let's see what I can do about that energy mine. Leave the wolf a little closer to the rear, because it's got the much longer range weapons. See if I can do this without a hammer. The answer seems to be yes, I can at least take the mine without the hammer. Whether I can take the emitter is going to be another question. Partially the scrap things are getting in the way. I can't put the lathe where I'd really like them because of the scrap, so maybe I better collect the scrap. Except then it won't disappear. Burning through power, I got a lot of shooting going on. I've mired up all the nearby land. Good, I could really use the Joven. He's going to sit back there and provide cover while I push up. I can really use the hammer being done right about now. I'm going to pull the gem off of my command vessel and slap it on one of those dischargers. Get the lathe in close enough. This lathe's really getting hammered on. So yeah, hammer fort time. Get in there. There, hammer fort is in place. Now you notice I've driven the hammer fort right up to the emitter. This way anything it spits out is just going to go straight into the front. It really doesn't have any other option. I do still have this problem with particles coming in from the side, but they don't seem to be heavy enough to be a problem. You know, I could use a second lathe. Kill things just that much faster. There we go. Emitter taken out. Now at this point, these turrets you can only take out with lathes. So I'm going to move the cruisers up to hold here. And then we're going to hammer fort these turrets and take them out. There's a little bit of emergent getting in, but fortunately the hammer is just as effective against emergent as it is against particles. Well, other particles. They're all particles. Turret down, we'll move to the next one. Fair, I probably don't need to hammer fort these things. They're not producing enough damage to be a huge problem for a lathe, especially two lathes. And at this point, I should be using this grabber to countermire the land and reduce the amount of incoming emergent. There we go. It's two turrets down. Let's fall everybody back up here. And start working our way up the right side. I'm going to take out that first turret, and then I'm going to take out this upper energy mine and emitter by going over the top, rather than down the side. That way I'll have the least number of things firing at me. I can use that land as cover, and I can bottleneck it with the hammer. We'll leave one amped up cruiser here to defend incoming stunners. Alright, hammer time. We're going to need the tanker for that. That's going to open up that lathe to a little bit of fire over there on the side. Keep an eye on it. I'll fall back if I need to. There, toast. So leave two ships here for cover. Hope that that's enough. Give them a little bit of backup. Bring in the Joven. Leave the destroyer to cover over there. Since the hammer is slower than the lathes, if I just order the lathes into the line of fire, they're going to get toasted because the hammer's not going to get there soon enough to block all that fire. Alright, it is time. Alright, that's mine now. I'm not going to go straight at the emitter. All this stuff that's on the side is going to wreak havoc on me. So instead, we're going to yoo-hoo all this stuff on the side. destroying the energy mine totally okay, because I still got range on the tanker. And it's just one more thing for them to waste particle on. I can always grab that energy mine again. Wasting time, I should be building a second grabber. Using that grabber there to counter Mire. See who again. That should start to just about do it. Send the hammer down here. Start bringing in some guns to mop up, and let's move the missiles over here so they can get a bit better range. At this point, I'd say we're just about ready for that emitter. These particles are acting strange. They're not really attracting in. Eesh. Not my best move. Okay. Things are looking good up top, so let's go with the plan. Need the Joven over there for the additional fire. Oh, just realized how much emergent there is. Right side is still doing okay. There's just not enough particles to be a problem. Looks like they were a lot nastier than they actually were. Although it did just stun one of my main ships, one of my gunships. So let's cover that gunship. Down. Let's take out that last turret. Send in just one lathe for now. Use the other one to grab this scrap and then send him in later. Will one lathe really be enough? Just holding the zone. So yeah, the turret's really not a huge threat. Alright, that is all turrets down. That just leaves me this energy mine here to take, which will allow me to advance in. This emitter here to take, and then I just have to destroy the stunner, and the mission is over. I've got a couple of particle bombs if I need them, here and here. There's a lot of particle grouped up there, so I'm going to get an idea for exactly how much. And if need be, I'll bait it out. Alright, let's prepare the attack fleet. Get the armor up front. Put a cruiser on either side of it. Missiles, so they can lob in artillery. Any support vessels I might have. Where's my tanker? There's my tanker, because I'm going to need that range. Alright, let's draw some of this out. There we go. That looks like enough. That's quite a lot. We might want to move everyone back. Nah, hammer's fine. Alright, let's get in there. Should move the lathes up a little bit before I begin the assault. Fine. Looks like we're doing pretty well with counter-miring for now. Let's see if I can start lobbing some back in there. Now we'll keep an eye on what's going on here and hope that I've got the coverage to take out those stunners. I do not. I do! Nobody got stunned. So the energy is mine. As usual, that is fine. Because the mine is taking hits that will be going to my ships. Good, and now I just need to work on that emitter. Let's deal with these last couple of... There we go, particle bomb. That's going to help. Let's attack with our face. Hammer fort this. Keeping a close eye on these lathes, because right now we've got no defense from the sides, only the front. To get everybody else in here. Got a lot of ships just hanging back, not being useful. And I can really use those guns. Much better. Alright, last emitter down, which means I don't have to worry about particles anymore. Do have to worry about emergent, because it's going to keep spawning in off the enemy mire. So I should be taking out those mire spawners as quickly as possible. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to look for a clear spot. This spot will do as soon as there's no enemy emergent in the way. We're going to start deleting omnis. I don't need them anymore. They're not doing any good back there. They fully mired the land. What they can do good is up here on countermire. But if I want them to survive, they need coverage. Let's get a few more. Let's try and power up that last particle bomb, or that second particle bomb. The last one's in the upper right. So we're going to actually head for that last one next. I can't move very well in here. There's too much crud in the way, so what I need to do is pick where I'm going to be putting my ships so they can provide the best coverage. I want to keep these omnis covered, so we're going to leave one cruiser down here, and then we're going to use most of the rest of the forces up here. We're going to park cruisers in these little parking spaces so their guns can cover, and from there, we're going to lathe. No, I don't want to take that last energy node just yet. I want to destroy some more of the emergent before I start sending lathes in there. Do this, though. I know I'm leaving energy range. Right, you don't use lathes for that. You use lathes for this. There we go. Now we're back in energy. Cool, so that's just about it. Let's get the lathes in, take out this stunner, and call it a day. You know, not without moving in a little bit of cover. The lathes can probably take a couple of emergent, but I was about to say, but you never know how much is left except that last particle bomb. Last particle bomb solved my problems. So it went pretty well that second time. I kept more mobile. For the most part, I kept my warships up. Big problem I had the first time was once things got really packed in here with all this terrain and I stopped being able to move ships as effectively, I started looking just for where I can put ships rather than where I can put ships effectively. What worked much better the second time was thinking tactically, keeping the guns and the armor up front as far up as I could get by using these parking spaces in the terrain rather than just trying to move people to wherever they would fit.